YouTube, welcome back to a brand new stream. Today we will be reacting to the Forgotten Friends of MrBeast. If you haven't already checked, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Let's stop wasting time and let's get back into the video.
That MrBeast has figured out YouTube better than anyone else on the platform. Hundreds of millions of subscribers, billions of views. He could be one of the most famous people on earth. But MrBeast lacked an on-camera personality. It's actually been one of the core reasons why his channel is so successful. His early viral videos weren't built on emotion or storytelling or the audience deeply connecting with him on a human level. They were experiments, pure attempts to get views just for the sake of getting views.
If I were to say what's my superpower, it's that I can just obsess endlessly about something and I can just have the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. It wasn't like it was work for me grinding YouTube for those 10 years or whatever where no one was really watching it. It's just like kind of who I am.
And because he studied YouTube so closely, he realized that the most popular creators at the time didn't just make good videos, they felt like your friend, regular people with...
Bro, this the thing. These creators are from like 2010, 2011, chat. You know, and at that time, we were kids. We were kids watching these YouTubers. We were watching PewDiePie, and we were watching all of these like OG YouTubers who were gaming, who were just, you know, doing videos, vlogs, or whatever, including like people like Fred, you feel me? So I feel like back in the day, there wasn't so much competition of like, you know, content, influencers and people who are just striving to become the next big YouTuber, you know? So I feel like I messed up. I fucked up, chat. I was bullshitting in middle school and my whole high school career because I could have been one of the biggest YouTubers ever, you feel me? But instead I decided to just watch these YouTubers and let life just pass me by. And here I am starting from zero. But anyways, back into the video.
Ordinary lives, inside jokes, and real chemistry on camera. But Jimmy didn't have that, so he assembled a cast of personalities who could make his videos feel more human. Now, some of these people were his real friends, we think. Others were there as a job, to simulate being his friend for the camera. He actually got mad at people when they treated his productions like a job. Jimmy gets uncomfortable and gets angry when people use language like production assistant, because it's too industry. Instead, they're called FOFs, Friends of Friends. However, sometimes mixing friends and employees can end in disaster. Today, we're talking about the Forgotten Friends of MrBeast, starting with Jake Weddle, who was a major part in exposing the behind-the-scenes reality of...
So, Jake, this is the thing about Jake Weddle, guys. I feel like bro was just adding too much sauce into his, like, you know, exposing MrBeast video, you feel me? Like, bro really came out crying and shit. Like, bro, you tripping. And he was actually getting paid. I found out that he was actually getting paid a lot of money. Like, $200,000. Like, bro, and you over here crying on a fucking podcast, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Being friends with MrBeast as a job. Before meeting MrBeast, Jake spent nearly a decade trying to make a name for himself as a stand-up comic. So when he eventually got an offer to work as a writer for the MrBeast channel, he saw it as a great way to gain experience and move up in the entertainment industry. Down the line, he also started working as on-screen talent, making his first appearance in a MrBeast video back in February of 2019. From there, he became a relatively consistent cast member of the MrBeast crew.
That brings your total to $29. I'll take it. Chris, you are currently losing now.
So how much am I losing?
It makes you wonder, like, MrBeast videos are actually fake. I've been saying this for years, chat. Because, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it being fake because it's entertainment purposes only, right? But at the end of the day, chat, I remember I seen a YouTube video of MrBeast and they asked him to say, are your YouTube videos real? And he said, yeah, they're all real. None of it is fake. Nobody's an actor. Everything is 100% true. So ever since MrBeast ever came out and said that, I've been calling it out. You feel me? Hey, bro, like, your videos are fake as hell, bro. You mean to tell me that this person does not want to continue the challenge of becoming a whole multimillionaire because they miss their family? Like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, And then now, I mean, Jake right here, like the previous guy they're talking about, he was featured on one of his videos getting some money. You know what I'm saying?
Losing by
In a challenge.
And how many dumpsters has Weddle done?
2.
And how many have I done?
Hey, let me check the math with my calculator.
Hey, the 90s called. That sucks.
And even though it seemed like on camera Jake was just having a fun time with his buddies, this was just his job. And the longer he stayed, the passion he once had for the work on the channel began to slip away, as his true ambition was to become a full-time comedian, which is why he ultimately decided to step away from the channel in October of 2020. Although Jake made it very clear that his departure was drama-free and amicable, specifically stating that he and MrBeast were still on good terms, even though he would later say this was a lie.
Because me and Jimmy actually left on very good terms. I met with Jimmy before I left. He understood where I was coming from. I understood where he was coming from. There's no bad vibes either way.
And despite his departure, Jake would still make occasional appearances in future uploads, like Hit the Target, Win $300,000, and I Spent 50 Hours in Prison. There was no reason to suspect that there was any bad blood between Jake and Jimmy, which is why everyone was confused when Jake participated in one of the largest expose takedowns in YouTube history against MrBeast.
But this is the thing, that video, let's say everything was like real, everything that like came out on that video, like the exposed MrBeast video. I'm sure a lot of people seen it, I'm sure, because it went super viral. But really, what effect did it really have on MrBeast? MrBeast didn't even bringing that shit up. The whole world moved on from it and nothing happened. MrBeast is still the biggest YouTuber. So I mean, at the end of the day, they just pretty much just cut off ties with MrBeast. And at the same time, I feel like they were just clout chasing for a little bit. You feel me? Trying to cancel MrBeast.
Former MrBeast employee who goes online as Dogpack404 made a video titled "I Worked for MrBeast, He's a Fraud," which included allegations of MrBeast creating illegal lotteries, staging and rigging challenge videos, selling fake MrBeast signatures on merch, and so much more.
We all know
but
that
the second video
fake,
of this expose was titled "I Worked for MrBeast, He's a Sociopath," which focuses on the alleged workplace misconduct that was taking place, and Dogpack's star witness is none other than Jake Weddle.
The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you know, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy didn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay.
Jake was telling a much different story than before. He originally claimed that the two were still on good terms, but now he says that both he and MrBeast have a mutual dislike of each other. So what changed? Weddle revealed that the last video he ever filmed with MrBeast changed everything. It was a challenge that could be easily confused with torture. The video, $10,000 every day you survive prison. The premise was simple.
That's the thing. So you got offered an opportunity to make $10,000 a day. You knew it was a challenge. You were put inside the challenge to make $10,000 per day. You started making money, and you said that shit is torture. Well, guess what? MrBeast could fucking torture me for like the next 5-10 months, bro. As long as I'm making 10 bands a day, bro, I'm cooling, bro. Like, who the fuck calls that shit a torture? That's a challenge. That ain't torture, and you get paid. And you're not getting paid like 100, 200. Like, bro, you getting paid 10 bands, bro. 10 bands? Bro, just a month in there, like 30 days, that's 300 bands, bro. You feel me? That's more than $250,000, you feel me, in a month. You stay in that bitch for 3 months, bro, that's $900,000, bro. Like, you could really become a millionaire if you lock the fuck in and you calling this shit torture, bro. This is what I do not understand from these people, bro. Like, either they're weak people, they're not true hustlers, or they just making shit up just to make MrBeast look bad. And I'm not over here just trying to side with MrBeast because I'm not biased. But at the same time, chat, I feel like I gotta cop BS when I see BS. You feel me?
A contestant lives in a small room for as long as they can and gets $10,000 every day they spend inside. But the initial attempt at filming this video was actually a massive failure, and Jake witnessed it firsthand because he was the original contestant.
If people don't know, that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me. And it didn't go well.
Jake goes on to explain the harsh conditions
And
of
he
the
cries.
challenge, as it amounted to much more than just sitting in a room all day. The walls of the cell were freshly painted, causing a nauseating chemical smell that was unavoidable. To make matters
Man, bruh, you getting paid 10 bands, bro. Why you acting so soft over some fresh fucking paint? You know, me, bro, I grew up, my mama used to come in while I was sleeping in my crib. She come in mopping the floor with bleach. You feel me? Coming in, I had my uncle pull up in my room at like 8 in the morning trying to fix my wall, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just breaking down my wall, Chirac, and you know, what is that shit called? Chirac? In Spanish it's called Chirac. What is that shit called in English? Anyways, whole lot of dust in there when I'm sleeping. Bro, you is a fruity ass boy. God damn, over some fucking fresh paint. Come on,
worse,
bro.
the room also had an ice cream machine and hot tub, both of which also emitted their own foul odors as the days passed. Jake also claimed that he became sleep deprived.
So it had fresh ice cream and you had a hot tub, and you still trying to make an excuse that shit like affected you somehow.
Due to MrBeast's team refusing to turn the lights off at night in hopes of not ruining their time-lapse shots. These conditions caused Jake to be physically drained, and his symptoms only got worse as the days went on.
And okay, if they told you, hey bro, you're gonna be part of the challenge, bro, we're gonna have the lights on your ass, bro, because we need this shit for the camera and we don't give a fuck. Like, come on, bro. You getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is not torture, bro. And if it was, why didn't you sue him? You didn't sue him. Just came on the podcast and just started like crying and talking out his ass. But he ain't do no legal procedures. If you was really fucked up about it, if you really felt tortured, and you know what I'm saying, it really like traumatized you like that, because you were getting paid $10,000 per day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, chat. I don't know about that.
Jake was given a bonus challenge where he could win extra cash for running an entire marathon on a treadmill, and despite wanting to refuse, he felt pressured to go along with it. This resulted in him getting severe blisters all over his feet, and it was his breaking point, so Jake decided to give up on the challenge.
I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out.
Now, many people defend MrBeast in these situations by saying, oh, they volunteered, they could have left. Nobody forced them to do this challenge, and all of that is true. Then again, the entire design of a MrBeast challenge is structured to push people right up to their psychological and physical breaking point, because that breaking point is the juicy entertainment you are waiting for. The best case scenario for MrBeast from an entertainment perspective is that the contestant is sleep deprived and starts to unravel emotionally, cries, panics, or pushes themselves physically far past what's reasonable. It's their suffering that creates the tension, the story. Imagine if someone went in there, meditated, stayed still, and didn't give in to any of the chaos that was thrown at them. That would be a boring video. But most
But I mean, you could have really done that. You could have went in that bitch and meditated and did a boring video, you feel me, and still got paid, you feel me?
MrBeast viewers believe that the suffering is totally worth it.
It really is not Jimmy's fault that you did not go in that bitch prepared, bro. Like, y'all could really put me in that bitch, bro. 10 bands a day, bro. Bro, I do that shit easy, bro. I do that shit easy, bro. And I don't need no drugs. I don't need nothing. I don't need alcohol. I don't need nothing to really, like, help me out. Bro, I'll do that shit like this, bro. Feel me? I sleep on it all day. Nigga, I'll do some push-ups in that bitch. Motherfucking me, I'll do some motherfucking, I'll hop in the jacuzzi. I'll play some pool. You know what I'm saying, chat? That's what I would do.
Considering the prize money could change your life. Actually, many people look at him as generous for creating these torture simulators for cash. But the real problem with Jake's story is that some thought he was rewriting history when everyone was dogpiling on MrBeast. Remember, he initially said, oh yeah, everything is good with me and Jimmy. And now he's saying he wasn't being paid and was being cut out of the videos.
Now I make dog shit pay. Making gajillionaires more money. And that's one of the reasons why I left. They always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that.
He even claimed that he was let go from the company after he made a list of demands regarding payment.
I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day.
Now maybe everything was all good between Jake and MrBeast until this prison challenge, and that soured the relationship. But still, many people thought he was just trying to capitalize on the trendy hate for MrBeast. Jake Weddle's Patreon page had been dormant for over a year, but it's
because it was a trendy hate, bro. It really was a trendy hate. Like, people were just trying to, like, MrBeast had I think at that time he had gotten like over like the most views, or he had surpassed like T-Series or some shit like that. It was some legendary shit. So they're like, hey, you know what, bro? Let's try to bring him down type shit. You feel me? They came up with this little bullshit ass story, Chad, little sad story. I don't know, bro. I just don't like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, MrBeast videos are fake. MrBeast videos are probably not even genuine. But for you to come on here and act like you're the victim, bro, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then you complain that now you're making like, you know what I'm saying, dog shit money.
was reactivated on August 7th, the same day his interview with Dogpack was released. Jake also posted multiple videos about MrBeast following that interview, which racked up hundreds of thousands of views for his channel, and even helped his YouTube channel get monetized.
I don't want an apology, and I don't want your money. Every penny I make moving forward is going to be because I earned it. $100,000 should have been more money than I was ever going to see in my entire life. So if you want to prove a point, Patreon in the link below.
However, Jake constantly felt the need to clarify that he wasn't doing this for fame or money.
I didn't
Then why the fuck did he say Patreon's on the link below?
do this for money. I didn't do this for fame. I didn't do this to jumpstart my career. I wasn't trying to be an opportunist. I actually, I held my tongue for a long time because I made the calculation that that was the right thing to do based on the information I had. And once I found out some new information, that changed the equation.
And this could have been believable until he uploaded a video titled "I Caught Jimmy in a Secret Recording," where he played a clip of MrBeast saying something bad about Jake, only to immediately say after that it was AI generated.
Jake knows what he wants. Jake knows what he thinks he needs. He just wants to be a stupid stand-up comedian and making all that free.
Jake used this to clickbait viewers into watching another video where he continued to provide updates on the drama between him and Jimmy, but he doesn't actually start talking about anything meaningful until 8 minutes in the video, where he reveals text messages between him and MrBeast, where Jimmy offers to pay Jake $190,000 in compensation for him attempting the prison challenge. MrBeast said, "I have zero expectations of you mentioning me, sending you this money publicly, or taking down any videos. This is me just wanting to help out and make sure you're good." But Jake said he could not take the money.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take 100. I just couldn't take it because it's still a mechanism of the game. It's still like the rest of the prize money, and that's not what it was about. But the other consistent point I was making was when you have no money, it's not a choice, is it? I need that money, but I don't want you guys to think that that's going to change how I feel. I don't want you guys to think I'm going to go back on anything I said.
But then Jake completely contradicted himself by agreeing to take $50,000 from Jimmy under the condition that he could say whatever he wanted publicly. Some felt Jake was justified in taking the money, while others felt frustrated at the hypocrisy. It doesn't matter how much money you turn down. If you take any amount, you're going to be painted as a person who had money as their motivation. When he started the video with misdirection with that AI message and then started randomly virtue signaling himself, that was a big red flag for me. It's almost as if he's trying too hard to make himself seem like a good person. He also says he is not in it for the money, but I guarantee he is cashing in on the hate MrBeast wagon with views. Whether Jake was ever truly Jimmy's friend is up for debate, but there is no debate when it comes to Tyson. Krys was Jimmy's day one best friend.
Okay, Jake is out of the equation, bro. He's just an opportunist, you feel me, at this point. And he's ungrateful. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad, I'm actually not glad that he's broke. But at least I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying? Like, MrBeast ain't feeding no more snakes, though, you feel me? He cut the grass. No more snakes in that bit. You feel me? Now, we're gonna tune in with Krys, with whatever Krys got.
It was deeper than friendship. It was family, which is why when Krys was facing serious allegations of grooming and or having relationships with minors, as well as irrefutable proof that Krys was a fan of CP, MrBeast had to reevaluate his friendship with someone who helped build his empire from the very beginning. The overwhelming online dissection of MrBeast's inner circle reached new heights in 2023 when YouTuber SunnyV2 made a video called "Why Krys Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast." Krys was widely known as Jimmy's best friend since childhood. Krys was the very first subscriber to the MrBeast channel, which now sits at over 300 million subscribers, and was also regularly appearing in videos since the beginning. For the first 3 minutes, Sunny highlights Krys's sudden physical transformation, going from the image of a typical guy's guy, a gun-toting, beer-drinking, fishing country boy who grew up in the countryside of North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, Krys, the whole Krys situation was sad because Krys was actually an OG, you feel me? And then, like, you know, it just got very controversial with him, and, you know, things just weren't the same with him.
To painting his nails, growing his hair out, and dressing more feminine, and ultimately announcing that he started HRT, or hormone replacement therapy, which for Krys would be taking feminizing estrogen to transition his body and appearance to a female. And this was all before Krys had announced that he intended on identifying as female. This was a news story because transgender people will receive hate just for existing because many people do not agree with their life point of view. They believe no matter what hormones, surgeries, or societal support they receive, they will never be the opposite gender they were born as. Whereas pro-trans people simply say you are whatever gender you choose to identify with, because it's a spectrum and gender is merely a construct created by our society. Additionally, we learn that Krys got divorced.
For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated, with this also confirming that Krys's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end.
This started the narrative that Krys was a horrible father who was essentially abandoning his wife and child so he could be a woman, and Krys responded.
This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids.
Now there's a much more objective way to look at why Krys's marriage may have ended. It's not like people just wake up one day and decide to be trans. It is a deep decision that they contemplate internally for years. So revealing that information to his wife and child would have been a shock to 99% of relationships, which was said best by Dante.
That's crazy, because that comes into, like, how long did you know? Did you know about how you were, like, as a person before you put a ring on this woman's finger? Did you know who you were as a person before you had that child with her? Because now you have involved 2 other people into this.
Imagine literally any other secret your significant other hides from you for years. That would cause problems. So considering changing your gender would probably be at the top of the list of most important discussions to have before getting married and having children. This has become so common to the point where there is an organization called Straight Partners Anonymous, a support organization for straight heterosexual people who discover or are told that their partner is LGBT and need help in coping with this discovery and support in their decision about what to do next.
I mean,
at the time, many people labeled Sunny V2's video as nothing more than a transphobic hit piece, even though today many others say that Sunny V2 was right all along, considering what you're about to learn. Because Krys Tyson's past was about to be revealed, and it was so much worse than anyone could have predicted. A video released 1 year after Sunny V2's called "This Video Will Make You Hate Krys Tyson," which documented Ava, formerly Krys Tyson, and her history of suspect behavior on the internet, most notably with her ties to Shadman, an infamous lolicon artist who made NSFW artwork of real-life children, such as Keemstar's daughter and the actress Daphne Keene. Some people try to defend lolicon, but it is quite literally animated CP. It was revealed that Krys purchased a piece of art featuring a young girl from Shadman. She showed off the poster on Twitter and even admitted to hanging it up in her living room. And to be clear, this wasn't a one-time occurrence. Krys frequently engaged with Shadman's artwork on Twitter and even accidentally opened his website while live streaming.
Maybe they're bank flip.
No.
No! Oh, that was almost really bad.
And if it couldn't get any worse, Ava also had a track record of posting vulgar tweets about being turned on by child characters in explicit situations. Now, Shadman's art specifically was considered to be a part of 2010's meme culture that countless YouTubers praised, ironically. Edgy humor was also much more common in 2017, and you could argue that Ava's tweets, while crude, could just be edgy jokes. But these tweets were only the tip of the iceberg. Adrox's video drew more attention to other videos calling out Ava, particularly one made by the YouTuber Prism42. In this video titled Krys.
Damn, I mean, I didn't even know this much about Krys, Ava, whatever you want to call him. I mean, I knew he was controversial to the fact where like he just, you know, he like transitioned or whatever, but damn, bro. Wow.
Tyson talked inappropriately to a 13-year-old. Prism attempts to shed light on Ava's previous interactions with a minor with the username LavaGS. LavaGS's age is proven to have been around 13 years old when the two began speaking. We get examples of Ava interacting with Lava on Twitter, and we certainly see conversations that are inappropriate considering the age gap.
Krys, does she know about your hentai addiction? And that's the thing, is this guy, at this point, he would have been 14 years old. This guy is asking you these questions, and you were talking to him when he was super young. How does he know this? I don't know.
Prism then provides a handful of examples of inappropriate conduct, such as an old tweet from Ava that reads, "Guys, we are so close to our goal. Oh my god. One more Patreon and I'm releasing my nudes." Lava responded to this tweet, announcing that he was subscribed to the Patreon, to which Ava says, "But not $5? Pathetic. JK. Kissy face. Check again," Lava says. Krys says, "I posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share." It's not hard to see how an adult talking to a child in this manner, even if it was a joke, is inappropriate. The two.
And then why the fuck you doing that shit publicly too? Like, aren't you big at this point? I mean, I'm not a Twitter person. I've never seen no Twitter shit. I don't be following people. I don't keep up with like all these people, whatever the fuck they tweet. But I'm guessing, my guesses are that at this point, 2018, Krys, you probably had over 100,000 or more followers, and you tweeting shit like this, bro.
Who even privately communicated on Snapchat and spoke one-on-one in Discord calls. And the two even met up in person when Lava was 16 years old.
Krys Tyson, who is interested in both men and women since he was 13 years old and Krys Tyson was in college, why did he take a camper van out to see him and take it out in the middle of the woods in this secluded area?
Prism was able to learn all of this from a personal conversation he had with Lava, who directly denied any kind of grooming took place. Lava also clarified that the meetup was with other MrBeast crew members and his parents were present. Prism's video undeniably heavily implies that Ava is a child predator and groomed Lava. And that's the message that almost everyone who watched the video walked away with. Dude straight up flirting with this junior high schooler. Try not to talk to children inappropriately challenge. Quite literally impossible for some people. However, Lava, the alleged victim, had a different perspective on the situation, publicly stating that Ava had never exploited or taken advantage of him. Lava has since changed his story, agreeing that what Ava did was wrong, but still rejected the idea that he was groomed. Ava spent some time silent away from social media, but ultimately was forced to respond, although her statement on the issue was considered to just make everything worse. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations, Lava, has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at MrBeast, which is why I have stepped away. However, many still had the belief that Ava was a predator, saw this statement as insufficient, and was met with overwhelming backlash. Yikes, LOL. Your apology is not accepted. You you belong in jail. This is what MrBeast had to say about his day one best friend. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action.
He didn't hire nobody though, Chad. I already know because this shit was like what, 2-3 years ago, Chad?
To remove Ava from the company.
We haven't heard anything, no updates. Jimmy has not updated us on shit.
Channel and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their...
And everybody claims that MrBeast already knew this. Everybody claims that MrBeast been knowing about this whole situation, and he never did nothing about it until people caught on, you feel me? And then he comes out and he says, oh yeah, you know what, I'm finna like hire somebody, a third party, to conduct a thoroughly investigation. Bro, that's cap.
Findings. From a PR perspective, this statement checks all the boxes necessary. However, MrBeast and Ava's relationship was more than just a business partnership. They were supposed to be friends, but even good friends recognize when one of them is wrong, and holding them accountable for their actions is normal. However, there was some leaked information from Ava's friend Eric that suggested Jimmy might have tried saving Ava's career. MrBeast recently signed a massive Amazon deal. They began working together to create an Amazon Prime original game show called Beast Games with a cash prize of $5 million. Now, MrBeast before this was pretty much known as having a perfect reputation, so Amazon could have never predicted this absolute PR nightmare they were facing. So it wasn't unrealistic when we heard a rumor that Amazon may have had a hand in the removal of Ava from MrBeast's channel. An anonymous account claimed that MrBeast and Amazon are trying to cover up the Ava drama, and they had the receipts to prove it, in the form of a handful of screenshots from Ava's partner, Eric, addressing the situation in their Discord server. Eric claims that Ava wanted to write a much longer, more detailed and nuanced response towards all of the allegations she was facing. Eric also claims that they were the one who actually typed the tweet as they took over Ava's Twitter account to help her quit social media. Eric said, I had protested at how terrible the tweet was and asked if it would be possible to change some words like if I offended and the word permanently. But in a room with Jimmy Beast, the MrBeast CEO, MrBeast COO, and Ava, I was told no. We cannot change it, and we have to run it by the investors. We need to say that. But I couldn't help but notice this little detail Eric left in there about MrBeast. They wrote, I posted the tweet. Jimmy and the CEO had tears in their eyes. If this was true, this showed that, in spite of everything that happened, MrBeast still cared deeply about his friend, and was willing to find a way to make it work with Ava regardless of the world treating her as guilty. Eric also claimed that MrBeast later had a change of heart, and realized that they hadn't done enough to stand up for Ava. He comes over with the COO, and we develop the follow-up tweets together with Ava. During this drafting process, Jimmy tells me, we're so lucky we have you to help us with this. We've never had to go through anything like this before. I respond, yeah, I really wish you had let me help you with the first tweet. Jimmy then replied, yeah, we kinda did mess up the first one. Additionally, MrBeast revealed the findings of the 3-month investigation into his company. The investigation found no evidence to support allegations of sexual misconduct, grooming, or the company knowingly employing individuals with dangerous or illegal histories. However, investigators did identify isolated incidents of workplace harassment and misconduct, which led to disciplinary actions and new corporate policies aimed at improving professionalism and company culture. The public responded to this with, we've investigated ourselves and found ourselves innocent. No way. The guys you paid found you innocent? Regardless of how you might feel about Ava and her alleged behavior, it's easy to see how it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for MrBeast. Turning his back on his closest friend would paint him as a bad friend, but defending her would tie his reputation to accusations.
I mean, Krys is cooked, Chad. I feel like Krys is cooked. Like, you can't defend him no more at this point. Like, bro, you defended him when he transitioned. That's fine. That's cool. You feel me? That's your friend. Cool. But it reaches a limit, though. You feel me? I feel like once those accusations came out, there's no coming back. You feel me?
No public figure can afford to stand next to, and maybe even make himself complicit in her behavior. Even after leaving the MrBeast channel, Ava has continued to be the subject of scrutiny. Other individuals have since come out claiming to have interacted in a similar manner with Ava, and entire logs of her old Discord server have been leaked. The logs show exactly what you'd expect: inappropriate conversations with kids who are too young for her to be talking to. And since all of this came to light, Ava has entirely disappeared from the internet, and it's easy to see why she may never come back. But during the fallout with Ava, another former MrBeast friend featured on the channel, Jake the Viking, went as far to say that MrBeast knew about who Ava was the whole time. Then again, Jake attacking Ava unleashed some skeletons in his own closet. Before he ever met MrBeast, Jake the Viking was just a small YouTuber trying to make it on the platform. He uploaded vlog-style content that focused on himself having fun with his friends. And it's clear when watching his earliest videos, Jake was a natural entertainer, but he never could have predicted that a massive YouTuber would take notice of his potential.
That certain someone had just subscribed to me on YouTube, and wanted to share that. It's actually really cool. So I look up to this guy because he's awesome. So if you look right up there at the top, Mr. Freaking Beast subscribed to me on YouTube. Shout out to you, man.
MrBeast didn't just want to keep up with Jake's videos, he wanted him to be a part of his own content. That's why Jimmy ended up hiring Jake full-time as on-screen talent. From 2018 all the way through 2019, Jake the Viking became a regular member of the MrBeast crew.
Jake isn't subscribed to PewDiePie.
Wait,
whoa,
no way,
whoa,
no way.
whoa,
Jake,
whoa,
stop. Jake,
whoa.
let me see it. Jake!
He stood out thanks to his intense and overly enthusiastic personality, and became a fan favorite amongst viewers of the channel. He was always cracking jokes, smiling, and seemed to be more than just a new face in the videos, but a genuine friend of the other members. This is why so many were confused when Jake eventually disappeared from the channel. Last featured in a video uploaded in January of 2020, Jake was absent for months, and there was no acknowledgement from anyone in the videos about where he had gone. But eventually, Jake the Viking had posted a video on his own channel revealing why he left the MrBeast crew. Supposedly, after the hide-and-seek video, Jake was never asked to feature as on-screen talent again.
And so all that went on till super recently, when finally I was able to meet down with a couple people and kind of put everything out on the table. And it came down to my piece no longer fit the puzzle.
This wording is particularly interesting. MrBeast videos are so successful partly due to the friendly dynamic shared between him and the people that were supposedly his friends. But to say that his piece no longer fit the puzzle is one of the coldest, most corporate ways to describe what was happening behind the scenes. And this is the moment almost every MrBeast friend eventually reaches. The slow realization that they were never truly part of a friend group, they were part of a production. Jake even talked about how he was disappointed whenever he was cut out of the videos, which might seem trivial or just standard business practice, but it hits deeper when you believe you're contributing to a friend's channel. Being erased from a video doesn't just mean losing screen time, it makes you question whether you were ever valued as a friend in the first place. It's a dynamic we see over and over. People who joined the channel and were convinced that they were friends or maybe even family, only to discover later that they were just employees filling a role. Whether Jake was genuinely close with Jimmy or simply part of a business operation is unclear. But when Jake announced his exit, he wasn't overly dramatic, he wasn't angry, he kind of just chalked it up to a mutual decision.
And so it was pretty much like a kind of a mutual parting. You know, me and MrBeast, or me and Jimmy did not have any type of falling out. There was no argument, there was no bashing, there was none of that. It was very mutual, because it was something I was already contemplating, you know, not if, but when.
Leaving a channel like MrBeast meant that his future as a creator was uncertain, but Jake the Viking was able to build an extremely successful platform of his own. At the time of uploading his video announcing his departure from MrBeast, he was sitting around 30,000 subscribers, but by October of that same year, Jake hit the 1 million subscriber milestone. This really proves that...
I mean, it helps you out a lot, though. I mean, if you have some type of relationship with MrBeast, bro, you really have an opportunity to grow, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jake is a living proof.
that Jake was such a massive fan favorite in the first place. His personality and natural talent allowed him to be successful without MrBeast's help. Publicly, Jake the Viking remained cordial with MrBeast and the crew for some time. However, this would change when negative sentiments began growing against Ava Kris Tyson. While live streaming, Jake was asked about his old friend and what he thinks about their new lifestyle.
Let him do his thing. I don't care.
Chat, please hit the like button if you're watching.
Think it's weird, but whatever. I never expected it to happen, but whatever, man. Everyone, my biggest belief, and this is something y'all should always believe, that y'all should follow. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves life is so full of up and downs. At the end of the day, everyone deserves to be happy. If Krys doing this transitioning to become a woman is making him happy, cool.
Others were a lot more.
Jay, he's only saying that because he's on TikTok Live. You know, TikTok will not let you talk no type of shit on live.
More aggressive about their feelings towards Ava. Nick Merckx tweeted, "You should be ashamed of yourself leaving behind your wife and child to play pretend. One day you'll wake up and realize what you've done." Surprisingly, Jake the Viking quote tweeted this and agreed with the sentiment that Ava had abandoned her son. Then Jake the Viking revealed more information about what actually happened that led to the departure from the MrBeast channel. He tweeted, "Fired from MrBeast for doing a brand deal with a CBD company. Is told he can make a video explaining why he's no longer there, but it has to get approved. Video blows up and then disappeared because instant suppression by YouTube's golden boy. Continues to make content even though videos aren't getting shown, i.e. no one gets notified of uploads." Notice how this is almost the exact same situation as Jake Weddle. They initially announced that they left the channel and everything was all good. Then all of a sudden MrBeast is in controversy and now they come out of the woodwork and say, "Here's more context that I never revealed." Jake's growing negative sentiment against MrBeast would reach a boiling point when all of the allegations against Ava Kris Tyson came to light. Jake started going even harder on both Ava and MrBeast, tweeting, "The silence is deafening. No accountability. None. Jimmy knew." Jake the Viking had become one of the leading figureheads of the anti-MrBeast and Kris Tyson sentiments that were growing.
They see a new trend and they just want to hop on it. It ain't even genuine. Bro, why the fuck did you just wait until now to call it out too?
At the time, and his position as
So Jimmy knew, but you also knew too, and you ain't say shit.
As a former employee, gave him more credibility for his position. But this is where Jake Weddle comes back into the picture. Jake Weddle revealed that there was a MrBeast employee named Delaware who was a registered offender, something that was known internally but never addressed publicly. To make things worse, he was Jake the Viking's brother-in-law and former manager.
Well, there was a known offender, registered offender, convicted offender on the registry and everything, who worked there. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently, they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware.
Longtime MrBeast viewers were familiar with Delaware, and Jake even directly acknowledged that he was his brother-in-law in a tweet from 2018. This was an optical nightmare for Jake the Viking. For the past few weeks, he had become one of the largest voices calling out Ava Kris Tyson for what many considered to be predatory behavior. But in reality, Jake had closely associated with and even hired a registered sex offender who took advantage of an 11-year-old. Statements like "Jimmy knew" had aged extremely poorly, and in the face of unrelenting backlash, the Viking was forced to respond. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he is an RSO. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my 2 nieces that I could ever ask for. They want no part in this and want to just live their lives away from the limelight. I understand why anyone would be frustrated over these allegations, and I do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable, but in the case of Delaware, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day these charges are dropped. Now taking...
So you coming at MrBeast because he allegedly knew that he hired somebody. That he allegedly knew that Krys, who was a close relative to MrBeast, was, you know what I'm saying? But, bro, your brother-in-law is also the same thing that you trying to accuse MrBeast of having a close relationship with this person. You feel me? And you also have a close relationship with your brother-in-law, as what it seems like, because you're over here protecting him as well. You feel me? So, bro, you're a hypocrite. You just hopping on a bandwagon-ass trend. You feel me? I'm not here to be biased. Everybody knows my channel is not biased. You feel me? Bro, you're a hypocrite.
Making a plea deal is...
And I don't even, bro, hypocrites. That shit was just a trend. You feel me? To hate on MrBeast. You feel me?
is much different than just like a settlement, because you are admitting guilt, but you're just hoping for a lesser sentence or punishment. Someone would only take a plea deal if the odds were stacked against them legally. SA crimes are particularly difficult to prove due to their reliance on both physical evidence as well as establishing a lack of consent. Obviously, consent is impossible in a situation like this, meaning that the case would rely solely on physical evidence, which begs the question, was there physical evidence? And if there wasn't, why would you take a plea deal? It's hard to imagine that Delaware, in the face of a baseless allegation, would prefer to accept a plea deal rather than facing trial and exonerating himself. This led many to believe that there was enough evidence to provide a conviction. People simply weren't buying Jake the Viking's story, not to mention that he was happy to call out predatory behavior when it benefited him, but now he was seemingly making excuses for it and brushing it aside. Jake the Viking constantly tweeting about how MrBeast knew about Tyson being a creep, only for it to come out that his own brother-in-law who worked for MrBeast is a literal offender, which Jake knew, is so funny. Just like that, everyone was turning on Jake the Viking. The good grace he'd been receiving in the recent weeks was already completely gone. He once left the MrBeast crew on good terms and was fondly remembered for his contributions to the group, but now he's remembered for his hypocrisy, messy falling out, and association with an RSO. Today, he still uploads content to his YouTube channel regularly, but barely cracks 1,000 views per video. He has seemed to develop a large enough following to sustain his life and career as an influencer. He's kind of just a general content creator these days, live streaming, making Instagram videos and TikToks, all while generating income through affiliate links and brand deals. But his identity online will always be tethered to once working for and being friends with MrBeast. The same cannot be said for Sneako. MrBeast was actually a fan of Sneako at one point and offered him a job years after he surpassed Sneako in subscribers. However, their falling out was much different than everyone else on this list. Before MrBeast was known as the biggest YouTuber on the planet, he was just a kid obsessed with the platform, posting literally anything to develop a subscriber base. More often than not, he was providing commentary over video game footage, which was extremely popular in the early 2010s.
What's up, guys? I just bought a new microphone, the Blue Snowball, for around $60 off of Amazon. And if you've seen any of my older videos, this mic sounds like 30 times better than my old mic.
Another aspiring YouTuber following a similar path as Jimmy was Nico Balanthese, better known today as Sneako. During this time, it was common for smaller channels to interact with each other in the comments and build connections, and that's exactly how Sneako met MrBeast.
So you guys actually met on Call of Duty, or the YouTube Call of Duty?
We met through like comment sections.
The two began collaborating with each other and featuring on each other's channels. In fact, MrBeast directly shouted out Sneako in a video titled 5 YouTubers I Think Will Be Famous.
At number 2, I have Sneako, and if you've ever seen Sneako's videos, you realize that they're kind of addicting. Once you start watching them, it's kind of hard to stop. But I don't know what it is about him. It's just, he's so straightforward with things, and he's not biased on anything. He'll let you know.
Bro, Sneako is fucking biased.
Anything that's on his mind. And I never miss an upload from Sneako. I don't really know how to explain it, but he pretty much uploads videos similar to Eddie the Chump. Just they're really well put together and really well thought out. I don't really know how else to explain it besides just telling you to go watch his videos.
While MrBeast was still discovering exactly,
and MrBeast was showing love to Sneako, bro. That's crazy, bro.
What he wanted to create, Sneako was going for something with more meaning, a deeper purpose, which since the very beginning was centered around social commentary mixed with personal reflection. Some viewers felt Sneako was wise beyond his years. Others felt he had a I'm 14 and this is deep kind of vibe.
I don't wake up and think, how could I not be a douchebag today? I wake up and think, who can I piss off the most? Most of you have extremely up thoughts that you don't say out loud because they affect your persona. I'm guessing at least more than half of you are closet racists, and even some of you kind of wanted me to go home at some point. I was born here, by the way. Please don't deport me, Mr. Trump. Probably more than half of you have some more gay thoughts than you care to admit, and at least 1/3 of you have spent some time on the really sketchy parts of the internet. weirdos. The reality is most of us are going to spend our lives wondering how everyone else is going to see us instead of improving ourselves for ourselves.
His channel was growing extremely quickly, and he was on pace to become a large creator, but then he quit. Not 100% necessarily, but he went from uploading multiple times a week to just a couple times per year. And in that time, MrBeast went from being Sneako's fan to having over 5 million subscribers.
We're so close. We're almost, wow, we're almost 5 million subscribers. Wow, I can't believe it. 5 million.
The two reconnected, and MrBeast flew Sneako out to his headquarters.
Damn, bro, them old MrBeast videos would hit different, bro. That nostalgia, bro. Those the real MrBeast videos, bro. You know what I'm saying? These the real, genuine MrBeast videos that we all love. You feel me? Like the new MrBeast, bro. That shit is just. I'm sorry, Chad. That shit is not. It's not. To me, at least. You feel me? It's not amusing. You feel me? Shout out MrBeast though, bro. You feel me? At the end of the day, like he has a business to run. You feel me? He has a production to do and shit like that, bro. But it don't hit the same no more, bro. It don't hit the
Quarters
same,
in North Carolina, gave him a job, and showed Sneako the empire that could be built on YouTube.
And I went and worked for him in North Carolina, and then I really saw how it was possible to be a content creator. He changed my mind. He was the first person to really, if you talk to him off camera, he'll like talk about all this Matrix stuff just in different terms. I remember going to restaurants and stuff like that, and he was just so rich at 19. He had an entire company, he had a warehouse, people working for him, and it wasn't even. I didn't even think it was possible to do that with YouTube. I just saw YouTube as a way to turn on a mic and camera and speak once in a while. He had systems in place. He had employees. He was running it like a bit, and I'm just like, this is the potential of YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, you drop out of school.
Yeah.
He told me just that blatantly. Yeah, drop out. Like, why would you go to school and get student loan debt to go and be an intern? I was a TV and film major. Like, why would you go and do this when you can just, YouTube is the future.
Sneako was even featured in a video titled, I Built a Car Using Only Legos, where Jimmy, Sneako, and the guys drove around in go-karts that had Legos taped to the exterior. However, Sneako realized within a couple of weeks that he didn't fit in with the MrBeast crew. He realized he couldn't fully be himself, nor did he like MrBeast's mentality of making videos just for the sake of going viral.
That's just not what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be somebody who could use their voice to shake the room. I like to have that impact and talk about politics, social issues, and talk about what's really going on. And that just wasn't the direction of MrBeast content. I think back to it, I remember wanting to make specific jokes, like jokes about Trump and Hillary, because I was working like around the first election, or the first Trump election, and afterwards he regretted like even adding those jokes. I think he edited them out because he just wanted to be clean. He wanted to be friendly for everybody.
Hit the like button,
I've always disagreed with that mentality ever since I worked with MrBeast. He's like, I want to be #1 YouTuber. I'm like, I just want to use YouTube. YouTube was a means to an end.
You got fired?
Yeah. The video was structured around what's going to go viral. What's going to make me #1.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like my philosophy is like, I want to express myself. Social media is an extension and a way to express yourself.
Look, chat. This is the thing about Sneako. Sneako loves to do Sneako loves the controversy type of YouTube and create. Just like me, I love the controversial shit. I love the drama. But I also love the trendy stuff. You feel me? And I also love the entertainment stuff on YouTube. You feel me? But Sneako, very controversial person. Sometimes he's cool, sometimes he's not, sometimes he's a douche. I honestly feel like he's a hypocrite. I feel like me personally, chat, to me, Sneako's a hypocrite, chat. I don't know. That's just me though. You feel me?
Now this is a pretty normal realization. Sneako's vision for his own content and online persona just simply did not align with MrBeast's, and Jimmy likely noticed that too, so he decided to fire Sneako. And even though Sneako knew he didn't fit in, he still felt bitter about being fired, and immediately after he got home, he made an exposed video where he talked about how horrible it was working for MrBeast, hoping it would damage Jimmy's reputation. However, he quickly regretted the decision and removed the video from his channel.
What pissed me off after working with MrBeast is I always thought I was better at making videos, yet he's the one on track to be a top 10 YouTuber of all time. I got all jealous when he fired me, and I made this hate video exposing him, and then I had to delete it when I realized that he blew up because he put in work.
He actually went through the effort of doing it over and over again, and I never did.
To this day, Sneako realizes it was his own ego that soured his relationship with MrBeast and would have done things differently if he could go back.
Nobody saw it. It had literally 40 views, and I took it down in like 20 minutes. But I talked about it a lot because I realized about doing anything for attention. Like, I was really upset about getting fired, and I had this like sense of pride, and I always had a lot of belief. Like, I know that I'm the best. Like, I know I'm I'm the best YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. And then seeing him surpass, it just my head. And so I'd like to talk about that because I think it's a good example of how your ego can be your downfall. But no one saw the video, and the video, I don't think it was that bad, but just to go behind his back and like do something resentful because I got fired was just not the right way to act.
Is there any bridges that you burnt that you regret and you think, you know what, actually I want to still be cool with this guy? Or you good?
MrBeast.
Yeah.
That was one that I didn't need to do that, but
well, you put a video up and then you just deleted it straight away.
Yeah, no one saw it, but
that's good.
He saw it.
He saw it?
Yeah. It had like 20, I think barely, no one saw it but him. Yeah. And so you can't go back from that.
You don't think he'd ever forgive you?
I wouldn't.
What's interesting is that Sneako is the only former MrBeast friend who put the blame on himself. He wholeheartedly admitted to being jealous, bitter, and even attempting to expose MrBeast for his own gain. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone else who ever spoke out against Jimmy is lying. It's just that the pure transparency is super rare. Sneako being able to recognize his own flaws, then learn from them and keep pushing forward is what allowed him to build his own fan base and not live in the shadow of MrBeast. The same cannot be said for MrBro, which is the...
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, at least he took that shit to the chin, chat, and then he said, you know what, I said some horrible things, fuck it. But, still controversial character,
the
chat.
blood brother of MrBeast who failed miserably at becoming a YouTuber. CJ Donaldson would make the occasional appearance in his brother's videos, such as I bought an expensive car using only $1 bills, and in this video specifically we can see MrBeast directly calling for viewers to demand CJ to make a channel of his own.
Alright guys, today we're gonna do a brother reveal. This is my brother. Come here. Don't be camera shy. Okay. See him? Hey, tell him to make a YouTube channel. He's at college and he's gonna have like a horrible job with that.
Considering at this point MrBeast had dedicated half of his life to YouTube and had undeniably built an extremely successful business from it, it's no surprise that he wanted his brother to have the same success that he did, and he was in the perfect position to help him get there. He had the experience, he had the knowledge, and he had the money to get a separate channel off the ground, and eventually CJ agreed to give YouTube a shot.
Hey everyone, my name is CJ. I'm MrBeast's unknown brother, and we're gonna see what happens. So I used to work at Walmart, but now I've decided to take a leap of faith just like my brother did and start my YouTube career. With Jimmy's mindset with giving money away, being a philanthropist, doing all the great things that he does every single day to make a difference in people's lives, I have that same mindset, and I also want to do the same thing just like my brother.
Initially, his channel was doing extremely well, with his first 4 videos racking up nearly 20 million views combined. But there was a problem with the MrBro channel that couldn't be ignored, and CJ said it best himself.
Unfortunately, I'm poor. So I decided to do a dumbed down version of my brother's videos.
The MrBro channel was essentially nothing more than a cheap knockoff of the MrBeast channel. Last to leave tree wins $10,000. I spent 24 hours in a pool of ramen noodles. I Ubered to the North Pole. Not only were these videos essentially direct rip-offs of videos that MrBeast had already made, but they were objectively less interesting concepts and their execution was far worse. Not only were the video concepts the same, but many of the people featured in the videos were just MrBeast crew members. In fact, one of the most frequent special guests of the channel is Chandler's brother Zach. The thumbnails were the same, the profile picture was the same, even the name itself, MrBro, makes it sound like a spin-off of the MrBeast brand rather than its own unique channel. And maybe I'm looking too deep into all of this, but as time progressed, it seems like he even physically started looking more like his brother with his hairstyle and clothes. I guess MrBro is just straight up copying his brother now. Yeah, I'm not a fan of MrBro. Same. He's literally just a budget MrBeast. He's not even trying to be different. Everything about his channel is a copy. The banner, the icon, and what he does. He just got a free ticket to fame because of his brother. MrBro's first video was uploaded in August of 2019, but not even 2 years later, CJ already abandoned the channel entirely. He did end up creating a new YouTube account where he uploaded Minecraft challenge content, but he also stopped posting videos after less than a year of uploads. It's hard to say that CJ quit YouTube due to a lack of success. In reality, I just don't think CJ shared the same love for YouTube that his brother has. Everyone who stood beside MrBeast, childhood friends, collaborators, employees, even his own brother, eventually reached the same realization. Being friends with Jimmy is not the same as being friends with a normal guy. Some left quietly, some left bitter, some left confused, but they were all replaceable, and they were replaced. Because in MrBeast's world, friendship doesn't actually have to be real. It just has to look real for the video. The same exact thing can be said about David Dobrik, who literally built his entire channel around his friends. Only later we would discover many of those friendships weren't exactly what we thought they were. But if you want to hear more about that, check out this video.
Damn, chat. Wow. That shit. It puts you to think, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people who've been calling out MrBeast. You feel me? A lot of people been saying, oh, bro, MrBeast is not genuine. MrBeast is this and that and the third. Look, I'm just going to say one thing, chat. Everybody knows this is all entertainment. You feel me? YouTube is entertainment. It's not for you to look good. You feel me? It's not for you to portray that you're well. A lot of people portray something that they aren't on YouTube is what I mean. You feel me? A lot of people fake a bunch of shit on here on this platform. A lot of people, you got the gurus who pretend to be rich. You feel me? You have literally like the rappers. You have the rappers, chat, who, I don't know, a lot of these rappers out here, chat, are pretending to be like, you know, they're pretending to be massive, huge people, you feel me? And then you have like, I don't know, bro. You have all types of people. You have people who swear they're funny. You have people who just doing videos, just do videos. There's people who do clickbaits and don't even like, you know, bro, it's a lot of fake shit on YouTube is all I'm saying. It's a lot of fake stuff, you feel me? So if you think that, if you really think MrBeast is genuine, I would say he's genuine to a certain point. I feel like he is a nice person. I feel like he gives back. Like, you cannot talk down on him. Like, even if it's not even genuine, he's still helping people, chat. MrBeast is still helping more people than anybody else. Either way, I could come on here and crucify and talk shit about MrBeast, but bro, I have not even given out money to people like that. You feel me? I don't even think I've spent over $1,000 on giving out money to people. You feel me? Helping out people. You feel me? And I do help out people right here in my community, but it's not that much. It's not a huge difference, bro. You feel me? I probably give out something like $5, 10, 20 bucks sometimes, but not like MrBeast is really changing some type of lives. You feel me? At the end of the day, so I really cannot come on here and say, hey, bro, MrBeast is a bad person. You feel me? Just like, you know, everybody else want to just come on here and, you know, hate on MrBeast because it's a trend. It's a current trend to hate on MrBeast, you feel me? In 2024, 2025, you know what I'm saying? It's some bandwagon ass shit. Now, I will say this, though. His videos are fake. His videos are fake. I do not believe that these contestants are real people who are actually participating in a challenge and are genuinely there to accomplish the challenge and gain as much money as they're able to gain from those challenges. Because if I was one of those people, I feel like I would have scammed MrBeast out of millions of dollars. You feel me? Why? Because I'm the top person. What? You tell me I just gotta sit in this room and get paid 10 bands? Bro, I'm sitting in that room for 5, 7, 8 months, bro. You feel me? Drain MrBeast out of $10 million, bro. You feel me? Like, this shit is insane, chat. You feel me? I would really do that shit. I would really do that shit. I would really go out there and really prove a whole fucking point. I'd really make sure that I come out and make $10 million off of MrBeast show if I really could, you feel me? But that's why I feel like it's fake, because there's no real hungry contestant in that bitch, you feel me? There's no real person who's hungry enough to stay in a MrBeast challenge, or like, you feel me? You just don't want to lock in, bro. So at the end of the day, I do call that shit out. I always call it out. Even when I do MrBeast reaction videos, I call it out and I state the obvious. Hey, bro, look, I already know this person is gonna quit at day da, or this person gonna win, this person gonna lose. You feel me? And you could also see like a lot of the contestants, they're like returning contestants in the MrBeast fucking videos, bro. Like MrBeast sometimes don't even bring different people like that. You know what I'm saying, chat? So I don't know. Now I will say some videos are real, but a lot of them are not. You feel me? I really don't think that he's really giving out that much money. You feel me? So yeah. I don't know, chat. What y'all think though? Honestly, bruh. Shout out MrBeast, bro. You feel me? Shout out MrBeast. Ain't no way I'm talking down on MrBeast, because at the end of the day, what he has done is great, enormous. But we gonna have to call out the what the fuck? Hypocrisy from all his affiliates, his old friends, bro. Like, how the fuck you gonna talk down on somebody who helped you out? And once again, I feel like this has become another trend ever since Steve Will Do It came out and, you know, started talking about MrBeast is fake and MrBeast is not genuine. And, you know, a lot of people are gonna side with Steve, because I don't know. Steve is genuine though, you feel me? I feel like Steve is genuine, but he was drunk though. You know, he probably didn't mean it that way. But at the same time, chat, that's crazy how all these people disappeared from MrBeast's life. And as soon as they disappear, they just start talking shit. They just start talking so much smack, you feel me? And it just proves that, you know, a lot of these people are not genuine, you feel me? A lot of these people just really hate and they're just mad. They mad that they can't be up there with you. They mad, okay, he's the biggest YouTuber. I was once part of this fucking organization, and I'm not part of it no more. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a dub, and I don't know, chat. Honestly, that shit is not fair, bro. For me, it's not fair, honestly. I feel like it's not fair, chat. Chat, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, you feel me? We're going to continue on with the whole, I like these videos from
Congratulations.
Patrick.
You've been
the David Dobrik Forgotten Friends. You feel me? We gonna go to the next video, react to it, chat. Chat, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. I go live every single day, chat. Thank y'all.
Officially selected to portray one of David Dobrik's friends on his 17 million subscriber YouTube channel. As a cast member of the Vlog Squad, you'll receive...
I'm not even gonna lie, chat. David Dobrik. I can't even name you a video from David Dobrik, because I don't even think I ever tuned in with David Dobrik. The only reason I know about him is because I probably seen like 5 Vine videos from David Dobrik. You feel me? Back in the day. And that's it. And then on TikTok, you feel me? He was a big, you know, topic in 2020. But, you know, he's been famous for years.
Instant fame, potentially big business opportunities, and the illusion of being part of David's exclusive inner circle. Plus, your loyalty could be rewarded with David surprising you with a brand new car that you have to pay the taxes and insurance on. But remember, this friendship is a performance. The viewers must believe that you and David are real best friends who would do anything for each other. Any hesitation, confusion, or genuine concern could break the illusion, and we can't have that. Your enthusiasm enthusiasm must be absolute, your loyalty unquestioned. If David makes a joke, you laugh. If he has a crazy idea for a vlog, you're willing to make the sacrifice. If something feels wrong, it's not. Because in the vlog squad, nothing ever goes wrong. So keep smiling, keep laughing, and whatever you do, never stop acting like you're surrounded by your best friends in the whole world. Because the moment that illusion disappears, so does your appearances in the vlogs, your money, your career, your sanity, and hopefully not your life.
What's your name? What are you even talking about? My name is Greg.
Wrong! What's your name?
I don't know what you want me to...
Your name's Dylan's friend! Your existence is being my friend! When people think of you, they really think of me. And that's who you are now.
A friendship with David Dobrik comes with terms and conditions. Sure, they got the fame, the money, and the opportunities when they obeyed David's vision, but when things go wrong, it becomes clear who's a real friend and who's disposable. Today we're going to discuss them all, starting with Dirty Dom, David's childhood friend who helped launch his YouTube channel, only to be erased the moment he became a threat to David's reputation. David and Dom packed their bags to move from their hometown of Vernon Hills, Indiana to Los Angeles to pursue their dream of being social media content creators in 2015. From the very beginning, David's vlogs highlighted the dynamic of his group of friends. Every upload felt like a 4-minute sitcom. Familiar faces, the same inside jokes, and the same chaotic energy that made viewers feel like they were a part of the group. Dom developed his own character to stand out amongst the group. He was the wild card, the reckless, drug-addicted party animal with no filter.
Before you do the stripping, you have to sanitize the pole. So you put a little vodka, rub it on the pole, right?
I'm not commenting too much on this because David Dobrik, I do not know. I didn't grow up with him. You feel me? I don't give a fuck. And I'm glad I could say this shit. I did not grow up with David Dobrik. You feel me?
A lot from a guy like that.
However, as time went on, the line between his persona and his real-life behavior seemed to get blurred, something that was directly acknowledged by David and played off like a joke.
Dom, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Probably knocking on his neighbor's door. Hey, I'm a sexual predator.
Despite this, David's fans were surprised when women were coming out with stories about Dom and his creepy behavior as far back as 2017. Dom came up to me at the Studio 71 party because I had a low-cut dress on and kept talking about my boobs, and that I needed to show them to get through. When I started walking away, he said he'd find me later, and I was literally on high alert all night because he made me so uncomfortable. These allegations were followed up by a YouTuber named Ali Hardesty, who uploaded a video alleging that Dom had harassed her while attending VidCon. She claimed that Dom made multiple efforts to grab and kiss her before taking her to a secluded room, pinning her down, and once again trying to kiss her.
He has me pinned down on the couch like I'm just sitting normally, and he's facing me with his knees on my knees, holding me.
But did you file a police report? You feel me? Did you file a police report? Please file a police report if somebody is essaying you, please. You know what I'm saying? If not, people think it's just cloud chasing, honestly.
Me down and pinning down my arm, and he gets really close to my face and is like, kiss me, and I'm like, no, I don't do PDA, there's a bunch of people out there, like, get off of me. He doesn't move. He still thinks it's funny. He's laughing. I'm super uncomfortable. I don't know what to do at this point because it was different out there when I could walk away, but now he has me pinned down, so I'm trying to like play my cards carefully.
You would think allegations of this nature would warrant some kind of public statement, but David's fans were heavily defending Dom in Ali's comments and accusing her of clout chasing. So David and Dom felt no need to respond and kept collaborating for a couple of years. However, sometime in 2019, viewers noticed that Dom had slowly disappeared from the vlogs, leading some to speculate that he might have been kicked out of the friend group, which was known as the Vlog Squad. Dom himself claimed that he chose to move on from David's circle because he no longer wanted to be dependent on him for money, attention, or opportunity. However, we would later find out that he suspiciously disappeared from the vlogs right around the time a potential crime was committed and David was potentially involved. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. I've been looking to find the best deal on some Oklahoma City Thunder tickets, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. Right now, you can get tickets to Doechii, Billie
In Master Negotiating, Dom made progress.
This is interesting considering Hannah said in the article it was very much an environment where it felt like saying no was not okay. Hannah said, "It felt like from the moment we came there was an expectation that they were doing us a favor and we had to give them content. They were verbally like, why aren't you guys being fun? Do something sort of sexy." Plus, you can see multiple members of the vlog squad poked their heads in the room to confirm exactly what was going on and being excited about it.
We just need to get in there and do a head count for the vlog. Okay, we got 3 in there. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't look at that. I'm gonna have to leave the apartment.
Horny just like listening to this.
That's what happened. I opened the door and I was like, wow, they look kind of good. Dom, what's up, dude? You are sweating like a racehorse.
It's also extremely strange that David ended the vlog with a guilty conscience, saying they were all going to jail because of this night.
I just had a threesome, and I think we're all going to jail. Oh man. I think we're all going to jail. All right. That's it. Man. See you in 20 years.
After the vlog was posted, Hannah had people coming up to her in real life and discussing her involvement in the video. She felt ashamed and embarrassed. Hannah only found the courage to reach back out to Dom to discuss her feelings a few months later when Trisha Paytas publicly discussed her feelings about the toxic behavior of the vlog squad and how they will make girls uncomfortable to get YouTube content. Hannah texted Dom to get David to delete the vlog, and it was deleted. Now, no logical person would defend Dom here. It seems like David tried to quietly disassociate from him, but now the situation was too big to ignore. So he took the victim's side and publicly denounced Dom.
I want to start this video off by saying I fully believe the woman who came out against Dom and said she was by him. As was reported, the next day I got consent to post the video. Even though I got the consent to post that video, I should have never posted it. What I understand now, and I didn't understand before, is that she sent that text because she felt like she had to, not because she wanted to. And that's up. I also want to acknowledge the women that spoke out against Dom in 2018. I'm talking about Allie, and then I'm talking about other girls that address their problems privately or publicly. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys. I am sorry that I took Dom's word for what happened in those certain situations, and I didn't believe you. And not only did I not believe you, but I made a joke of what kind of a person Dom was, because I couldn't wrap my head around a childhood friend of mine doing this to people and actually hurting people, and I'm sorry.
Most of David's fans saw this as a genuine, sufficient response, but some thought that David was even worse than Dom. If someone allows someone to commit evil acts when they can stop it, then they're just as bad as the evildoer. There's a strong case for them being worse. David knew exactly what type of person...
Like, you only come out when you got caught type shit, right? Like, that's what I feel like.
Dom was, but didn't give a damn until it risked his brand. 6 months later, Dom posted a video called Exposing the Truth, where he restated every single thing that we know as fact, but tried to drag David down too. Dom claimed that the X was consensual based on the text that Hannah sent the next morning.
It's Hannah. Just woke up. Thank you so much for having me over. I know I was very drunk, but I was having a blast and hope you did too. Also, anything at your discretion is okay for the vlog, just maybe not anything that a future employer could use against me, hee. Tell your friends to go for it with the content he has.
Now, obviously, you can't rescind consent from the past, but many argue that she was too drunk to give it in the first place.
After the girls and me finished having sex, I was laying on the bed with Hannah and her friend. We were all talking and Hannah falls asleep, right? She was drinking a little bit more than the other girl, so I just continued talking to the other girl for a little bit. After we're done talking and we're ready to go meet up with the rest of the vlog.
Did you see just in his story, him saying she was drunk enough to pass out? You have to be so drunk to just straight up pass out like that.
We wake Hannah up. Her friend helps put on her clothes and helps her get dressed, and we walk out to meet the...
Helps her get dressed?
Yeah, that sounds
Helps her put on her clothes. Dude, he's admitting that she's blackout. Why would she need help getting dressed and putting on her clothes, dude?
Despite this, he still apologized.
I thought that by us filming this video, it was just another fun, stupid vlog, and that everything would be fine and nobody was harmed, and I was wrong. It impacted these girls, and it's gonna follow them for their whole life.
Dom's response is so confusing that you can't even tell if he's admitting the allegations are true or false. Like he's saying, oh, nothing happened, it was all consensual, but sorry, people got hurt and I messed up. What nobody expected was that Dom brought in a PR manager who used to work for David, and she talks about how it was her job to develop a public response on behalf of David.
I used to work with the vlog squad and David. I always went an extra mile for David because I believed in him and I thought he was a good person.
David wouldn't gift cars. David wasn't philanthropic at all. He was just like this guy that would, and this is a quote from his manager, that would make his friends drink pee. Like not even his manager believed in him. In February 2019,
Fuck,
David...
chat. Alright, look, chat. This is the thing about me. I mean, I could make a video. I mean, there's videos of me, you feel me, getting a little bit emotional, you feel me? But they're really streams, though. Because, damn, just editing a video. And then the thing is, like, these people are apologizing about some shit they did, you feel me, that was foul. They really, and at this time, I mean, this is like 2017, these people weren't live streaming this, so they had to, like, you know what I'm saying? They had time to review this shit, bro, and make it seem genuine. You know what I'm saying?
David received the text from Dom, and when David received the text from Dom, David did not want to take the video down.
Most people interpreted this video as Dom saying, what I did was wrong, but David is also complicit because he set all of this up for his vlog and didn't want to take down the video. However, nobody was really taking Dom's side and all of a sudden just shifting blame to David. To them, Dom was very much guilty of rape. However, he was never formally accused of nor charged of any crimes, and over the years he has attempted to shift content styles, giving advice on investment and self-improvement. However, his desperation has hit an all-time low. Today, he is hiring girls to act in staged conversations of him hitting on them.
I got this RPG because this dick bomb.
You know what? I like that. I can get into that.
The way I tally these bands, they would think I'm Al-Qaeda. Boom! Watch out, bitch!
He even puts the same fake Twitch chat on the bottom left corner of the screen in every video, I guess to simulate a live stream.
I gotta talk to her and get to know her. What do I gotta get to know about her? The vagina feels the same. Not mine. Really? What does it feel like? Gorilla grip. Wait, is it gorilla grip because you're black?
I'm not sure what value he gets out of these because they are barely cracking a few thousand views and most of them have no comments.
That's like the biggest thing that I look for.
What?
And I need them to be mad, huh?
That's why I actually got a reduction surgery.
Oh,
because it was too big, you know? It wouldn't be fair for the rest of the guys, right? So I just needed to, like, you know, level the playing field. So
wow, so you would say that you're really selfless?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, it's hard to call Dom a victim of David. He made his own choices, and they were awful ones. But Seth Francois, on the other hand, had a more difficult dynamic with David Dobrik. He was humiliated and exploited for David's vlogs, and claimed that David tried to pay him to keep his mouth shut. Back in 2017, Seth was an aspiring creator who moved to LA in hopes to make valuable connections. He added Dirty Dom on Facebook and bonded with him over their love of the party life. Since Dom and David were roommates at the time, Seth slowly got to know the squad. And eventually he made his first appearance in one of David's vlogs.
You're always complaining about how you're the only brown person and semi-black person in this vlog.
Yeah, always.
I got you a little bit of a surprise.
What?
It's a black guy! Yeah, it may be awkward at first.
Since Seth was new to David's unpredictable dynamic, it was extremely easy for David to prank him. However, many believe that this was far from a harmless bit. In June of 2017, David uploaded a video titled, "He Thought He Was Kissing Her. Super cringy." Seth came over to David's place assuming it was just going to be a regular vlog, but what he didn't know was that he was being set up.
What's up, guys? Today I'm pulling a prank on Seth that may have the potential of being one of my favorite pranks I've ever done.
David asked Seth to kiss fellow Vlog Squad member Corinna Kampf while she wore an old man costume for a silly bit. Seth agreed to take part, but it was a trap, because instead of Corinna, Jason Nash was the one under the mask.
Jason!
Oh my god! You disgusting!
Oh my!
It's Daddy!
Oh my god, Seth, I'm so sorry!
Seth's initial reaction might give the impression that he was totally fine with making out with an old man, but later we would find out that he tried his best to go along with it in hopes of appeasing David.
After took off the mask, it was a split decision. I was like, it's one or two things, like natural instincts and be the angry black guy in the room and start yelling at everyone and get physical or whatever that might entail, or I can go along with it and, you know, maybe I'll have some new friends that, you know, will support me in my ventures moving forward, and I made the decision to just kind of go along with it.
This is the typical dynamic David had with his friends. David was already a massive YouTuber with millions of fans, money, and industry connections, while Seth was an outsider trying to find his place in LA. For Seth, being featured in a vlog meant exposure and opportunity. For David, it was content for this week's vlog and nothing more. Just listen to how excited David was talking about the prank.
He's really making out with Jason, and I'm like, Seth, and I'm trying to get him to stop, but he thinks it's part of the bit, and he keeps going for 25 seconds making out with this guy. I think I looked up to the ceiling and I'm like, God, what did I do to deserve such beauty?
And I'm sitting there going, David, please just call it, David, bring Corinna in. It's going on, and it is so aggressive. Like,
they're making out like super aggressive, and then I call Corinna into the room.
Seth said he struggled internally to justify it, but he decided to just brush it off and keep pushing, although issues began stacking on top of each other that he couldn't ignore. A common theme with David's vlogs was that each individual would have a singular defining characteristic constantly mocked. For example, Jason Nash was frequently ridiculed for being the old guy hanging out with a bunch of people in their early 20s. And for Seth, he often faced jokes relating to his skin color and racial stereotypes about black people.
Coming over, he's our only black friend. Don't ruin this for me, okay?
This is Alex, you probably already know. Hey, Seth, do you want something to drink? Come on, Alex.
Seth, I'm gonna be real with you. When I see you, I don't see color.
Aw, that's a real man, baby.
Yeah.
Him too. I seen this kid. He fell off with David as well. Yeah, I seen him. I've seen his face before.
Because I'm colorblind.
At the time, Seth was okay with these jokes because he assumed there was no real harm behind them. Plus, the opportunity to be in David's vlogs was massive. But David would continue to push these boundaries, and the second prank he played on Seth truly tested their friendship. Months in advance, David asked Seth for permission to try and trick him into kissing Jason again.
Do I have permission to try to prank you again and get you to make out with Jason?
I'm very confused by that, because how the hell could you be so confident to tell me that I have to consent to something that I'm not gonna know that I'm gonna do?
Now, Seth's logic here is completely sound. You can't consent to something far in the future. Even if he could, Seth did not answer the question with yes, even though David would later use this clip as evidence of consent. Regardless, David set up an elaborate plot where a fake beef jerky company would hire Seth to perform in a commercial. The script called for Seth to make out with 3 women in gorilla costumes, but during filming, Jason Nash once again snuck into the set and began making out with him for over 15 seconds.
Congrats on your commercial, Seth.
Are you kidding me? It's Daddy! What the? You are the worst person in the.
What's truly crazy about this situation is that David hired an entire production crew with scriptwriters, cameramen, and even a website designer to pull it off. It was such a massive investment for what was essentially sexual assault under the guise of being a prank. To make matters worse, Seth was also promised a
Damn, the way he just phrased that, bruh. Yeah, this is pretty much SA, bro. You know what I'm saying? The way he phrased it right now makes exact sense. Like, it makes sense. You feel me?
$2,500 check for the commercial that David refused to pay afterwards.
I grabbed him by the arm and I was like, David, like you have to compensate me for what you said you were going to compensate me for this commercial, because I literally.
And he said no?
He was just like, oh, come on, man. Like, you know, like I'll tag you in the video.
Shortly after this prank, Seth distanced himself from the group due to the toxic dynamic and the fact that he wasn't making as much money as he anticipated appearing in the vlogs. It was later revealed by another Vlog Squad member, Scotty Sire, that David was reached out to by Seth asking to arrange a third kissing prank.
This is a text from Seth from about 2 years ago. He goes, yo bro, I was thinking about it. I'm down for another kissing sketch. I said, haha, what do you mean? He goes, lol, I don't really care as long as you clout me up. I'm not gay, just don't care. And then he sends me this.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's not really a big deal. It's the same. It just, I don't know, more open-minded.
But that never happened, and Seth was basically never seen in the vlogs again. It wasn't until Seth saw Jason Nash and David becoming very vocal during the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020 that he started to question how honest they were being. In an upload titled Accountability to All Creators, he didn't even attack the Vlog Squad necessarily, but highlighted how he regrets taking part in and not calling out their racially insensitive jokes. From there, Seth reached out to David privately and tried to express to David how much these kissing pranks hurt him.
I called David, I think it was sometime in February or March.
I thought he just said that he was trying to be part of another prank though.
And, you know, I politely asked him, it's like, I understand, like, everyone makes mistakes and, you know, I don't feel like you hate me, but, you know, I need you to take these videos down because they legitimately have caused me so much trauma. I just want to try to get away from it. And then he offers to pay me money to keep the videos up. And then at that moment, I realized, like, he's not a friend.
It was at this moment that Seth discovered David was never his friend. A friend probably wouldn't commit such a prank once, let alone twice. But to try and bribe someone to keep a video of them being humiliated publicly is a clear indication that this is not a friendship. Seth was not overreacting, and he even tried to handle the situation privately. But ultimately, the videos were not deleted, so he voiced his story publicly on the H3 podcast. And after, David finally realized he could not avoid this scandal and decided to apologize.
With the Seth situation, I'm sorry to Seth. I would just want to make videos where everybody in it, whether you're participating or watching, is enjoying and having a good time. And I missed the mark with that one. And I'm really sorry. I truly, truly am. I don't align with some of the actions. I don't stand for any kind of misconduct, and I've been really disappointed by some of my friends. And for that reason, I've separated from a lot of them.
Now, David's response was criticized for a few different reasons. It was posted to his podcast channel called Views rather than David's much larger main channel, making it appear that David wanted to address the situation on a more secluded platform. The statement itself is also extremely short and vague, referring to the ordeal as the Seth situation, rather than acknowledging that he was assaulted multiple times. And despite the video being titled Let's Talk, David disabled the comments, meaning any kind of discussion couldn't be had. And like always, David's audience was fine with this response. It was sufficient for them, so he just continued posting content, and Seth got left in the dust. However, it seems like these days he's doing pretty well for himself. Throughout his time with David, Seth was building a casting agency for social media content creators. His company books talent, extras, vehicles, and locations for content creators that are working on bigger projects. He has provided services for some of the biggest streamers today, such as Kai Cenat, Deshae Frost, and Neon. But while Seth walked away from David's world and managed to build his own successful career, others stayed no matter how bad things got. Jason Nash, for example, remained loyal to David long after the allegations, David nearly killing his friend Jeff, and even when he disappeared from the internet. Jason's loyalty wasn't just consistent, it was borderline delusional, to the point where Jason literally started begging for 1-cent donations on TikTok Live because David cut off all of Jason's sources of income. Jason Nash was a classic example of an aspiring actor and comedian trying to make it in Hollywood. When his career wasn't working out, he adapted to the social media landscape and became one of the most popular creators on Vine. Considering you could only make 6-second videos on Vine, it's actually bizarre how the app created a new kind of celebrity, and not to mention the massive amounts of money they could make.
I did Vine for a couple years, and I did okay on Vine. I was making like, one year I made like $250,000, $300,000.
Through what, sponsors and stuff
Through
like
sponsors.
that?
So you'd get like, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you get like 10K for like a 6-second Vine.
You could argue that Jason was actually more popular than David for a short period of time. He was regularly collaborating with other big creators and even got an investor to finance a movie he wrote. But the day his movie released was the exact same day that Vine shut down, and Jason was not prepared for the future. David, on the other hand, spent most of those peak Vine years building up his YouTube channel, vlogging he and his friends' adventures. By the end of 2016, David had already amassed a few million subscribers, and Jason Nash was back doing stand-up in small clubs, unsure of how he was going to generate revenue. One night, David happened to go to the comedy club club Jason was performing at, and he loved his sense of humor, so he offered him an opportunity to be a regular in his vlogs.
And Jason just puts on this hilarious skit where he's basically yelling at the audience and he's telling them that they're stupid millennials. And then I approach him after the show like a producer of some big budget movie, and I'm like, hey, I want you to do that in front of the big cameras tomorrow at my place on the vlog.
And everybody around me was like, who's that kid?
Little did Jason know that it changed his life.
Jason became one of David's prominent Vlog Squad members. His age made him stand out in the group, but that was part of the charm. He mostly played the role of the out-of-touch older guy surrounded by young rich influencers, but he was also a reliable comedic relief, and always down to help David with one of his risky ideas.
One.
Jason, please tell me you're okay.
David?
Please.
I'm not okay.
Jason.
One thing David loved to do was make Jason kiss other men, even though Jason was straight.
I've never kissed a man before.
Wait, actually?
You've never kissed a man?
Never. I am 100% straight. I want you to know, bro, we're about to make out. It means nothing sexually to me, okay?
What the fuck?
You remind me of a girl now. Oh my god, it feels like I'm kissing a girl.
This is just one of the many ways Jason would do whatever David wanted, but it was worth it because the money was too good. Jason would post a vlog of his own on the same day as David, which looked and felt almost exactly like a Dobrik video, but from Jason's point of view, hoping viewership would trickle over from David's fans, and it worked. Jason said after 4 months working with David, he was making around $35,000 per month in ad revenue. From there, he just followed David's lead, like when he decided to launch his podcast titled Views. The channel brands itself on both of them being equal collaborators, with Jason and David featured in the profile picture and banner, yet Jason is absent from almost all of the video's thumbnails. Plus, when you look at the set, you'll see David sitting at an elevated large desk, similar to that of a late-night TV show host, while Jason is sitting with the guests in the lower chairs across from David. Jason existed as more of an extension of David's brand, which he ultimately seemed perfectly fine with. In a sense, their relationship was mutually beneficial, but it was also extremely one-sided, considering that Jason needed David more than David needed him.
He's a master of just, he can pull in what he needs for the video. So if it wasn't me, David would have found something else that was just as funny, because he won't post anything until it's amazing.
Yeah. Taking a look at Jason's YouTube channel, a majority of his most popular videos featured David and other Vlog Squad members. But once the Vlog Squad fractured and David stepped away from content creation, Jason's viewership dropped off a cliff, from sometimes reaching over 1 million views per video to around 15,000. Even later uploads with David in the title and thumbnail barely managed to crack 100,000 views. Plus, their podcast abruptly stopped, cutting off another revenue source for Jason.
It was really, really fun to do. I don't think we'll ever do it again.
Why is that?
I just, I don't want to speak for him, but he just doesn't like doing it. Yeah, and I respect David for that. Like, he just doesn't want to, he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, like, he just told me and that's it.
David just told me and that's it. This is the reality of being friends with David Dobrik as a career. Jason's fall off was undeniable, but no one could have possibly known just how bad things were going to get. Because in 2023, viewers noticed him frequently streaming on TikTok, begging for money, and even breaking down into tears.
I love you, Starshine. Thank you.
That's crazy.
Man, he took us from to the top 34, which is like insane.
Jason spent hours streaming on TikTok, competing with other creators in TikTok battles, which, if you don't know, is quite literally just him and another TikToker asking people to donate money so that they can just make more money than the other person that they're battling with. But the money is given through a digital gift, which is a little rose emote or panda or confetti. Keep in mind that a rose is worth 1 cent.
Let's go! One more rose! 3 more people! 1 rose! 3 more!
Jason, much like he has done for his entire career, was adapting to the changing social media landscape and doing whatever it took to survive, no matter how degrading it was.
Like me, a lot of people were pretty confused to see this. At one time, Jason Nash was a part of the most popular group on YouTube, and now he's battling the Joker for gifts on TikTok.
What a way to start the day with Tommy Coach. Tommy, thank you so much for being here.
But Jason wasn't embarrassed by people discussing his fall from grace. He saw it as helpful traffic, which would allow him to get more more 1-cent donations on TikTok.
People make those TikToks about me. It drives the live like insane.
Oh, of course.
So I'll have like 2,000 people in the live instead of 300.
Jason also made no effort to hide the reality of his financial troubles, outright admitting that he only does TikTok live because of his loss of income.
Would I be on TikTok live if I wasn't in like a financial hole? I don't know, probably not. But also like YouTube wasn't really working and I needed to find something.
Jason also recalled how he could have gotten 30% of a $30 million offer from Spotify if David continued to do the podcast, but it's clear that David made so much money that it wasn't worth it for him to talk into a microphone for 1 hour per week.
You know, David, he quit the podcast. That was a huge moneymaker.
Was that like, did you guys have a $20 million offer from Spotify?
Yeah.
Damn,
every year,
dirty.
Spotify, they would come every year and they would offer a large sum of money in the millions.
20?
Yeah. The agent would say, no, don't take it this year. We'll wait. It'll get bigger. And then every year I would be like, guys, are you sure? Are you sure? Sure you just don't want to, And Dave, God bless his heart, is not about money. He just doesn't care. But he doesn't have a family to support either. So that's the tough thing. It's like, he doesn't have 2 kids. He doesn't have a kid going to an Ivy League school.
What were you getting off that 30?
30%. I think I did a lot on the podcast. Like, I actually do think I would like try really hard and try to come up with things. And just getting him to do it was a chore. And not to say that I don't love him, and I saw him on Saturday and he's the funniest. He's the best. Like, he's been so good to me. And, he gave me my career. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens.
Most people at this point would just get a job. I'm not sure why anyone would think begging for pennies on TikTok is somehow more worth it than just being a productive member of society for a paycheck. But Jason probably knew that all he had to do was weather the storm while David was away. He maybe even knew all along that David would return. This could be why Jason never disparaged David publicly. Throughout David's public controversies, Jason remained loyal, and even while he was scraping money together to pay the bills, he never turned his back on David. This loyalty ultimately paid off when David returned to the internet in 2025 and eventually brought back the Views podcast.
I'd be lying if I said the last couple of years were my healthiest or my happiest. I let go of myself and stopped doing the things that I really enjoyed. And believe it or not, my old podcast was at the top of my list. And there was only one man who missed it more than me. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do it again. Hey, there's no way. There's no way. Oh, man. You're like a really sad news anchor.
Although this is supposed to be a silly moment, it also paints a very dark picture of Jason's reliance on David. The fact that he is quite literally brought to tears when he learns that the podcast was returning demonstrates how desperate Jason had become and how much his financial struggles were weighing on him. Today, David seems to have returned to making vlogs and Jason is still featured in them. However, at 50 years old, it's becoming harder to continue to fit in with the 20-year-olds David is still hanging around. Jason and David have also relaunched the podcast, and it's likely that Jason's financial struggles have faded. Well, that is until David decides to cut him off again. Jason's entire identity and career seems to revolve around David. That same career trajectory was happening to Nick Kaswani, aka Big Nick, who literally said that David created him.
Your mom likes me, right?
Yeah, because you created me. I mean, why would she not like my boss,
But then randomly, Nick's life did a 180 and he was never seen in the vlogs again. Nick got his start like many other of David's friends, on Vine, where his dwarfism was often used as the punchline for other creators.
I have some candy in my car. Get in. Can my friend come? Ew, this is disgusting.
And in David's vlogs, things were no different. While Nick certainly had no problem with the occasional joke about his condition, it felt like his only purpose in David's vlogs was to serve as a punching bag. Nick became a prominent member of the Vlog Squad in 2017, but as the years went on, he began to fade out of the content. And this was mainly due to Nick's newfound faith and commitment to positivity.
Since the lockdown, I've kind of taken a step back from my old habits and my old ways and how I used to do things. I've just been kind of reevaluating my life because of God, actually. Because I've reevaluated my life, I realized the content that I want to put out, I want to start putting out positive content that's going to uplift people.
Upon reflecting on his time spent in the Vlog Squad, he described his and other members' behavior and loyalty to David as cult-like.
It is kind of like a cult, yeah. It's like a high school vibe, very cultish like vibe, and you can kind of feel it. Like, even when I would like film with people afterwards, I would come home so drained, like just mentally. And it wasn't necessarily, I mean, maybe it was because some of the stuff they were saying, but like it was just really the energy in the room. Like, it just felt like really demonic energy.
Although this sounds like a bold claim, Nick explaining his time in the group doesn't come across as spiteful. He sounds level-headed and honest, even discussing going through dark times.
I felt like worthless being in those videos. Like, I was like, dude, why am I even like here? Like, what's the point of my existence? Because I was just treated like this punching bag, right? Like, everyone's just joking about me, like mocking me, then the fans in public are doing the same. And like, I had a good long look in the mirror, and like, I was like, wow, I'm like really depressed.
Nick still maintained a positive outlook on the situation, calling David a friend and saying that he would always have a place in his heart. But Nick's commitment to positivity seemed to fade as the years went on, with his new faith-based content gaining traction for all the wrong reasons. He claimed that a pastor healed his limp after being prayed over in church, and even claimed to have been visited by Jesus as a young boy. Critics online claimed that he was losing his mind. Nick began making videos critiquing a wide range of subjects, mainly what he described as demonic forces such as women's rights movements and feminism.
What is the spiritual and psychological warfare in today's feminist movement? You see, the feminist movement was actually funded by Luciferians that were working in the CIA, and this was to make women think that they are not equal to man, where the Bible clearly states that men and women are equal, they just serve different functions and purposes.
Protect feminism or low gas prices?
Oh, I'm always about lowering the gas prices for sure.
Why?
Absolutely. Well, I think feminism's a demonic movement created by Satan to emasculate men, to get them out of the biblical order that God created. And I don't even drive like a gas-powered car. I drive a Tesla. I just don't like feminism.
I didn't know he was. I didn't even know he was short like that, chat.
It's cringe.
From here, Nick posted more videos criticizing what he calls the woke agenda and calling out celebrities he believed were worshipping Satan, rather than spreading positivity and potentially encouraging people to step forward with their faith. Many felt that Nick was just trying to fearmonger and chastise those with different lifestyles than him. But Nick was more than just a Christian content creator. He was also discussing countless conspiracy theories, claims of humanoid reptilians being spotted in Miami, videos labeling the theory of evolution as a Luciferian hoax, and stories of an underwater demonic kingdom as if all of these were facts.
There is a highly organized demonic kingdom located underwater, but you've probably never heard about it. Let's talk about the marine kingdom. Well, we learn in Genesis 6:4 in the Bible that the fallen angels actually mated with human women, creating giants and hybrid creatures. We know this to be true because after these biblical events took place, there are reported events from other cultures like the lost city of Atlantis, which brings light to an underwater city with highly advanced fallen angel technology.
Initially, people empathized with Nick leaving the vlog, but now that he was discussing conspiracies and fear-mongering online, their opinion quickly changed. I think the guy's just mad at the world because women aren't interested in him and he's been the butt of the joke his entire life. So when the Vlog Squad stuff ended, he had to find a new way to feel popular, and this was the one and only route to that. One of the many pipelines covert narcissists also go down. Hide your demons behind the Almighty God and you shall be saved, no matter how terrible of a person you are trying to suppress. Now people hardly remember Nick's days as a Viner or a member of the Vlog Squad, but he still maintains a large following of like-minded individuals. The same thing cannot necessarily be said for Brandon Calvillo, who was a former Vlog Squad member that was phased out when again his scandal became a threat to David's kingdom. Brandon was a frequent collaborator with David on Vine, and from there he was a consistent presence in the vlogs when David started blowing up on YouTube. Now, Brandon didn't have some extremely unique characteristic that separated him from the group. He wasn't the one to just blindly do whatever David says. He didn't seem desperate for screen time, nor did he come across as creepy. He was just a funny guy that seemed to be a genuine friend of the squad, which is why everyone was surprised when Trisha Paytas revealed that Brandon had been dating a 17-year-old girl.
Brandon, in their friend group, was dating a high schooler last year. She was 17 years old. And when I would talk about this with, like, David, he would literally be like, oh, see, it's a big deal. He's 24, like, she's 17, like, you know, just because it's the law, like, a year, like, 6 months, in 6 months she'll be 18. I'm like, it's disgusting. Like, people have found this out, and, like, Brandon will call David and be like, oh, like,